Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Matt from Tech Horizon, and we're going to be doing a quick unboxing of the new Sega Genesis Mini. This was released this past Friday, and I did pre-order it back in March 2019, and it arrived last Friday. But unfortunately, I was not home. I was on vacation in Florida, and I just came back today, and now I'm shooting the video of the unboxing of the new Sega Genesis Mini. So this retails for $79.99, and as you can see, you got two controllers and the USB power adapter, the power cable, and HDMI. They actually give you a power cable, unlike the PlayStation Classic, where they, force you to use a micro USB cable. Not a big deal, but it's included. Everything's included that you need in the box to play. So it's pretty neat. These are the 40 games that are included. Quite a big library of really good Genesis games. I grew up playing Sega Genesis. That was my first console with Sonic the Hedgehog. And out of all these games here, I didn't play all of them, but namely the popular ones like Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and Castlevania Bloodlines and Contra and whatnot. So pretty much every game that I liked is included. Now there are some games that are left out, but it's not a big deal. So that's the artwork. And everything pretty much that you receive is in the box. So let's go ahead and pop it open. So there's a little tear up here, unfortunately, so GameStop kind of dropped the ball, but whatever. Alright, so here we have one of the Genesis controllers. They come in nice and neatly packaged in these foam, and there is two controllers. Unfortunately, you get the US version, or the original Genesis controller, which only has 3 buttons, A, B, C, and of course start. I don't remember exactly if these red accents were on the original Genesis controller. I kind of believe they weren't. And the build quality isn't 100% the same, in my opinion. I remember the original Genesis controller having more of a like this type plastic right here that you see around these buttons. I remember the whole controller being that pattern, so I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to dig out my Sega Genesis in storage. I still have it, and I still have one of these controllers. But I would recommend you guys to go out there to buy the 6-button controller. It's a little slimmer, lighter, and has more buttons. And of course the D-pad is, in my opinion, a little better. That does retail for $20, but you can probably find it for less. These are regular USB cables, so I mean, who knows, down the line they'll probably be a lot cheaper coming forward. And we also have the power brick and a micro USB cable, so you can plug in the console and actually use it. Competitors like Sony and their PlayStation Classic, they didn't even offer that, so it's not a big deal because a lot of people have these cables, but I'm just saying. Other than that, you have the console. It does come in this cardboard insert, nice and neatly packaged, and it does look really, really nice. Sega definitely put in a lot of detail into the build quality. You have the function and on-off switch, the LED light, the function and reset button, and the non-functioning volume rocker for your headset. So the original Sega Genesis, the one I first received for my birthday, it had this volume rocker, and you can plug in your headphones and kind of listen to the game instead of listening to it on the TV, so you're not disturbing anybody. These are where you plug in the controller ports, so it doesn't have like the original controller port. I mean, none of these consoles do. They always have USB ports, and on the back you have the power and the HDMI out. So you'll plug in this micro USB cable that they gave you into that adapter, and you'll be good to go. On the bottom of the console, it does look like it has some kind of place where you can clip it onto something, which is pretty neat. And it does look exactly like the original Gen 1 model Genesis did. It even has the removable back cover for the Sega CD. And if you guys remember, the Sega CD was Sega's first CD console. It was actually one of the first CD consoles, and it didn't really do so well because it was really expensive, and you needed 2 power adapters, one for the Genesis and the Sega CD, and it was massive in size. Think of this, but probably maybe 8 times bigger than this, and then you actually added on that Sega CD. I even have one in the house somewhere, but unfortunately it's buried in storage, so I'd have to look for it. But yeah, I mean, everything on the console functions. You even have the flap for your cartridges. Of course, there's actually no, you can't insert a cartridge in here, and it's just for looks. But it's nice that Sega went all the way into that detail. So not only are you getting more games than the SNES Classic, you also get more detail in your console. So I'm pretty impressed with what they give you. It is kind of a steep price, $80, and that's what these consoles tend to go for. You do get a lot of games, like I mentioned, when compared to the SNES, and especially the Classic, the PlayStation Classic. Even the NES Classic didn't come with this many games. So I think Sega did a really good job on figuring out what games a lot of Sega gamers would want on the Genesis Mini, and they went out there and kind of, you know, picked the best 40 games, and even threw in some title ones, some bonus titles. You can also change the language to Japanese on the console, and you'll also get some bonus games that, you know, may or may not be on the console. So that's pretty neat. I will go ahead and play this console in the coming days, and I'll try to make a review video for you guys, and definitely let you know what I think in regards to is it worth it or not. Right now, at $80, I'm gonna say it's worth it. I've been seeing these things fly off the shelf, so I mean, it depends. I mean, it might be this holiday's biggest seller, but we'll have to wait and see, you know. But I was actually in one of the Walmarts when this came out on Friday. They had about 10 or 15 of these, and when I came back to Walmart Sunday, there was only 2 left. So I'm not exactly sure how hot these will be for this coming holiday season. I'm expecting it to be, because you don't really have anything else this holiday season. You have the Switch Lite, which actually came out the same day as the Genesis Mini, and you know, that's really about it. I mean, if anyone, you know, if you guys have any comments or anything, any suggestions for videos, also stay tuned for the video review. I greatly appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, and hit that bell if you guys want to be notified for any more videos. Thanks, and have a good one.